Yo, what's up guys? This is Sleet. Welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about the Champions League game between Atletico Madrid and RB Leipzig. Just gonna give my thoughts on the video and what I thought about the game. If you're watching this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game. Please leave a comment about it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, all those good things. And anyways, I'm gonna get right into it. So the favorites for this leg were Atletico Madrid, and I thought they were gonna go through, especially after RB Leipzig have lost Werner to Chelsea. I thought they would really struggle to score or create any opportunities, but they did have chances and they did end up going through. I think at the start both teams were very cagey. I was kind of expecting maybe RB Leipzig to be more attacking considering how Atletico like to sit back, but I thought both teams were doing fairly good defensively. Notably, there was two center backs for each team that were doing very well. I thought Upamecano for RB Leipzig was very good, and also Jose Maria Jimenez for Atletico did very well in the game. For most of the first half, there wasn't really anything happening. Like I said, both of the center backs were doing very well for each team. I thought they were limiting chances. They were defending well, both teams. Set plays, there were a couple of like shots, things happening like that, or headers that were on target. But I didn't think either goalie really seemed like conceding. Like Upamecano had like a dribble through a lot of the Atletico team, but didn't really come to anything. I remember Carrasco taking like a pop shot that was saved by Gulaschi, and everything just seemed comfortable to an extent. Seemed like teams weren't, or none of the players were really like going out of their way to try and press the other team or make anything happen. They both seemed like they were just feeling each other out, even though there were some chances. It wasn't anything major. In the second half, I thought that RB Leipzig started to take the game a little more to Atletico, at least in the first couple of minutes of the second half. And they got a goal for it, and the first goal was a really, really good goal. I think it was Kevin Campbell. I think his first name's Kevin, or Campbell, who for RB Leipzig, who like turned in the midfield. He brought a couple of players out, took some pressure, he turned away from them well. He like worked the ball forward, then they like switched the play. The cross from Savitzer was just ridiculous. It was so on point to where he needed it to be. There's only like two Atletico players in the box, or not two Atletico. There's only like two RB Leipzig players in the box, and there was like 6, 7, 8 Atletico players. And he put it right on Dani Olmo's head. It was a good header from Dani Olmo into the far corner. Oblak had no chance to save it really, and for me, this was a shock lead. I thought Atletico were gonna have to be forced out of their shell a little then, and I think overall they just have better players. I think Simeone's style limits how they play, but in terms of quality, just their players are mostly better than the RB Leipzig players. But RB Leipzig were working really hard, and it's weird to say that an Atletico team are being like outworked, but I thought RB Leipzig had a lot of people running and really working hard for them, and they were limiting Atletico. Like there was no real chances. I thought Carrasco wasn't really getting on the ball. I think he's a real danger man in terms of dribbling, but he wasn't really getting touches. He wasn't really getting anything going for him in the second half. I don't understand why Simeone had so many midfielders. Like, I get being cautious. I get that that's his style, but he was at one point playing like 4 or 5 players that are like kind of their position is either defensive mid or like a box-to-box mid. And if you're trying to create or win a game, you just can't create a lot of chances with those kind of players all over the field. And I think he realized this. He made the change. He brought on Joao Felix. And what I really admire about Joao Felix is that he's got a lot of fight in him. If you are a teenager and then you moved for like over 100 million, you're going to have a lot of pressure on you. And he hasn't really lived up to that pressure at all. But I think he's been good when I've watched him. Not great, but good. And he shows a lot of potential. He has so much belief and confidence in himself despite all of this, despite all the things people have been saying about him in papers. And when he came on, he wasn't afraid to take anybody on. He wasn't afraid to get a shot off. One of his first things he did was make somebody and get a cross in. And I just thought he was showing that he could change the game, and maybe he should have started. And that substitution got Atletico back into the game. The goal came from Joao Felix doing a really good 1-2 with Diego Costa, who I thought was quiet. But he of course has moments where he's like swinging out and causing havoc for defenders. Upamecano, I remember one time getting annoyed with like a late kick. But he had a very good little layoff for Joao Felix. Joao Felix took it well. He was very composed. He got into the box. He was holding his shot. And then he got taken out by, I think it was Klosterman who took him out. This is the only part of the game where I thought Upamecano was a little shaky defensively. He got dragged forward before Costa hit the 1-2. And he left a lot of space in behind him. And Klosterman, who's pretty fast, did well to try and get back. But I thought Felix did well. Felix got his body in between Klosterman and the ball, and I think he even got the shot off and it was saved by the goalie. But that didn't matter because of how late the challenge came. Like, Klosterman was sliding into him. It didn't matter. He just completely wiped him out from behind. And on top of all of this stuff I was talking about, like these like steel nerves that Joao Felix seems to have, despite all his criticism he's gotten this season, all the haters that have been like talking him down and like just criticizing him for his game, even though it's not really his fault that a team chose to buy him for as much as they did. As soon as he won the penalty, he got right back up and he stepped up to take it, which really surprised me. He's so young, and to have that confidence in a Champions League quarterfinal to like take a penalty, for me it just shows how much belief he has in himself. And I think with that belief, he can become one of the best in the world. I think if he finds that form that he had last year, or if he even just moves to a team that's not as defensive as Atletico are, I think he'll shine a lot more. He shows so many good qualities, and he has so many good features to his game. I think he's destined to go to the top. The next substitution for me was weird from Atletico. Pretty much right after Diego Costa had kind of set up Joao Felix to win the penalty, he was taken off, which I thought was weird because once a player starts to create something, then they've got more confidence. I would have kept him in at least for another like 5 or 10 minutes. But Simeone took him off and he put on, I think it was Morata. And I thought Morata was like very out of the game. And I think that kind of cost him a little bit. Like if anything, Morata was like very snippy, trying to win the ball. He wasn't getting a lot of touches, so he's kind of acting out. And I thought at the end he could have been sent off. He had a yellow card, and then there was like a half chance near the end of the game, and he just kicked Galashi in the hand, in like the wrist area or the arm. And I was surprised he didn't get a second yellow for that. The ref just ended the game. I think he let it go. It's not really cool for Morata. Like he could have injured a player going on to the next round just because he was upset with how his game went. Despite Morata playing poorly, I thought that Atletico looked like the better team after they scored. I thought they were probably going to go through then. I thought if Simeone just played it right and they just kind of held it together, they just are a better team, and I thought they were doing better overall and they were going to win. But I think the clash between the managers was won by Nagelsmann, and it ended up winning them the game. When RB Leipzig had pressed before, I thought they were really struggling. Besides their goal, I thought they were struggling to create chances. And I did wonder if they were just going to ever shoot, maybe, or like test O back a little more than they had. And their goal came off of kind of like a half chance that ended up going in the back of the goal. As an American, it was nice to see Adams get the goal. I think it's going to be given as an own goal because I thought the shot was off target before it hit Savage, who's an ex-City player, which is kind of a little funny. But after kind of having a bunch of crosses from Angelino and other players not really do much, it was just nice to see somebody line up and take a shot, test the keeper, and instead of testing the keeper, it completely wrong-footed him. The deflection off of Savage took it into the goal. And from there was only a couple of minutes left. Both managers made subs then, and again, Nagelsmann, I thought, made the smarter sub. Simeone was down, and he brought on another defender. I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to put like maybe 3 at the back and then push everybody else forward, or maybe just give more height for the set pieces. But when you've got better attacking players on your team, you should probably start them, or at least you should have played them for more of the game. And make no mistake, this is a big upset. As much as people love to talk about how well Simeone does, and he has done really well to get them to 2 finals, he should not have lost to this RB Leipzig team after they lost their star player. And his team and his players probably expected to go through. I think he did it as well after what they did against Liverpool. That just shows the quality of the teams in the Champions League. Anybody can beat anybody. Atletico can beat Liverpool over 2 legs. They can beat them twice, which like barely any other team has beaten them in the last 2 years, let alone beat them twice. And then that same team that beat the champions of the competition can then go and lose to RB Leipzig, who have never won this competition or even gotten this far, I don't think, in their history. I think this game just showed how good of a manager Julian Nagelsmann is. He is only 33. I think he's the youngest manager to ever manage a team into the semifinals of the Champions League. And when you think about it, it's really crazy how young he is. He is younger than Messi and Ronaldo, like players in this competition, and he's managing a team farther than they've gone before. And I think with not more limited resources, because RB Leipzig are a rich team and they have gone up the divisions kind of shady through their sponsorship deals with Red Bull. But for him to take a team like that and get them to where they are now, I think is really impressive. And tactically, under him, they're going to have a chance against anybody. I think he will set them up really well against PSG, and I can see them beating PSG. I think my favorites for that leg are going to be PSG. They just have too much. It's a lot different trying to keep out Diego Costa and Joao Felix than it is trying to not concede against the team, against players like Mbappe and Neymar. I don't know how long Verratti is injured. I think he's injured because he didn't play, not suspended. But if they have Verratti back for the next leg, I think PSG will just control that entire game. I think they're just a much better team overall. But you never know. Atletico, I think, are a much better team overall. But if tactically, if you just lose that battle, even if you just give up a mistake, sometimes one goal can change the whole thing. A player like Tyler Adams today, who you're not expecting someone to come off the bench, can just hit a shot from outside the box. It seems like a nothing chance. And it can be a goal that wins you the game and sends you to the semifinals. And to me, that side of the bracket now, with Atletico out, seems a lot weaker. PSG will be confident they can get to the final, I think. And I think they'll be on good form. I think they'll feel like they can win it if they've gone and beaten Atletico, who are the team that beat Liverpool twice, and they were able to score against them multiple times. They're going to believe. But at this level, there's always a chance for either team. Of course, I think I'd prefer RB Leipzig to go through, but I don't think that would be the most entertaining final. I'm just saying that because if City got to the final, I think they'd be much more capable of beating RB Leipzig as opposed to PSG. But either team, I think, is going to be the underdog against the other side of the bracket. There's so many strong teams on the other side. We've got City if they go through against Lyon, and then Bayern or Barca. And I think any of those three teams are better than PSG probably. And if they get to the final, they're going to back themselves. Anyways, tomorrow I'm going to try and make a video after the Bayern and Barca game. I'm really excited for that. I hope it's as entertaining as it's being built up as, and the players really show out for it. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do this yet, but I will also try and get up a preview to the Man City-Lyon game. If I do record that, that will be out tomorrow as well, maybe before or after the Barca-Bayern reaction. And then, of course, on Saturday, I'm going to have the reaction to the Man City-Lyon game, which I'm, again, very nervous for, but I hope it goes well for City. Anyways, if you did watch this far into the video, I really appreciate it. I want you to leave a like, comment. Remember to subscribe for more football or soccer-related content. I'm going to be posting videos the next couple of days, so if you want to see those, subscribe. Anyways, I'm going to head home. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.